Hello everyone, I hope you guys are all having a fabulous Monday. Today I'm coming to you with our weekly Minks Monday Q&A. Before we get started, let me show you the bag that I'm currently rocking, and that is the Chanel Boy bag in the new medium size. Alright, so grab a coffee, grab a tea, let's start a workout, let's go to work, let's do laundry, whatever it is that you do, come join me. We have some awesome topics to cover today, and loads of eye candy. Alright, so starting with the first question from Shannon. Why do you feel that Louis Vuitton struggles with quality control so much? I have handbags from designers such as Michael Kors, Kate Spade, along with Louis Vuitton and others, yet Louis Vuitton is the only one I've had quality issues with. This is a fabulous question, and I do see it a couple different ways. Some of you might disagree with me, and I always welcome your guys' opinion. All right, so when it comes to, the first thing being that when it comes to an expensive handbag, I expect it to last. I expect it to not have issues within the first couple of months. I expect it to not have tarnish on the hardware after the first or second time of using it or anything like that. I expect a bag with that type of price point to reflect the quality that I'm getting. I do expect that. Now, I also know that just because something is expensive doesn't automatically make it indestructible. I totally understand that as well. And I've said it previously that just because something is expensive doesn't automatically make it better than something that's inexpensive. So that's something that I always end up thinking about that, because when it comes to Coach, with all the Coach bags that I had previously, or even the wallets that I had, my goodness, I would use these bags to death. The wallets, I would use them for years on end, and I gotta be honest with you, I don't think that I really zeroed in on the quality. Looking back on it, I'm like, oh yeah, I used them for years and I never had any issues, but I also didn't take a loop to it the way that I do when it comes to an expensive handbag. Now this leads me to my second point, and I can only speak for myself, but another reason why I think I personally zero in on not just Louis Vuitton, I'm talking about all fashion houses, is probably because of the same thing that I've said previously when it comes to, my financial possibility. I can't just end up closing my eyes and then poof, I have a handbag. I have to save up for it. So for me to have a handbag that has those issues with that type of price point, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking because it's not just about the brand. It's not about the history so much. It's more so about all the hard work or all the overtime that went into that handbag and then finding out that it's not what I expected it to be. But ultimately, I know that it is a luxury handbag. It is a luxury bag, and I can't expect it to outlast, but at the same time, I do because it's not, these price points aren't something to laugh about. And I'm also not trying to say that a Coach bag or a Michael Kors bag or a Kate Spade bag that has, that has a friendlier price point is something to laugh at. Not at all, because whether it's $150, $200, or $300, it's still that amount of money, But when it comes to these expensive bags, I do end up zeroing in on everything because I know everything that went into that bag. And I do expect that price point to mirror the quality of it. And unfortunately, sometimes that's not the case. And I will also have to say that I am not trying to make excuses for Louis Vuitton by any means whatsoever, because I've told you before, I will be the first one to come on here and let you know the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to anything having to do with luxury goods. I gotta be honest, I don't think I ever really paid attention to varnish. I didn't really pay attention to strings or to threads coming apart on a Coach bag or on a Dooney and Burke bag or anything like that. But when it comes to Louis Vuitton, oh yeah, I'm the first one. Within 5 minutes, boom, there it is, and I see it. So like I said, I can only speak for myself, but this is a fabulous topic, and I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on the comment section down below. But fantastic question, and hopefully I was able to answer it. Next question from NY Torres 168. Would you buy a bag knowing there may be the potential you had to resell it in the future? I saw the Chanel clutch with chain and I love it. It fits my current phone, but with the phone sizes getting bigger, if I bought a new phone in the future, it would no longer fit in the purse. I don't want to buy a bag knowing I might have to resell it, since I buy all my purses with the intention of being forever bags, especially since this bag is not in a neutral color. This is an awesome question. And would I buy a bag knowing there may be the potential I had to resell it in the future? Absolutely. Absolutely, because it's kind of crazy, because even though I do extensive research when it comes to adding a handbag to my collection, I have to ensure that this bag is something that is very versatile. I have to ensure that this is a bag that I will use for a while, or I have to make sure that this is a bag that ends up suiting my lifestyle. Even though I do take all that into consideration, when it comes to a forever bag, in order for me to be able to categorize it that way, it takes a while. It takes a while, and it mostly has to do with the fact that I have to ensure that this bag will be with me until the bitter end. Sometimes it's because of sentimental value. Other times it's because I see myself constantly gravitating towards that bag to the point where I don't really see a con. I don't see a con, and I see pretty much pros every time I go to use it, and I just get really, really happy, and I get really, really excited. I will have to say that if resale value is important to you, one of the ways that I kind of went around it, one of the ways that I'm able to have my cake and eat it too, is by going on the pre-loved market, which I think is fantastic, because sometimes, like I said previously, when it comes to colored bags or when it comes to certain brands, they don't end up holding their resale value as well. And if it's a bag that ends up speaking to you, by going on the pre-loved market, you're able to get it sometimes at a huge discount, and you're able to enjoy the bag without it necessarily being an arm and a leg when it comes to the price point, you know? So if you are feeling the Chanel clutch, and if you want to be able to use it, and you don't necessarily want to worry too much about the resale value, and there's a chance that it might not end up working out for your lifestyle within a couple of months or maybe a couple of years, by going on the pre-loved market, you're able to have your cake and eat it too, you know? So I don't know, that's the way that I feel, but this is an awesome, awesome topic. And I would love to get your guys' opinion on this because, like I said previously, for me, I always like to take resale value into consideration when it comes to these pretty price tags. You know, I don't necessarily, I can't necessarily just end up buying a bag, like I've said in a million other videos, buy a bag and just say, oh, it didn't work out, no big deal, no. I can't do that. So that is something that I take into consideration. But ultimately, sometimes we have to go for those bags that just make our heart sing, that just make us so incredibly happy, even if it won't be a forever bag, even if there's a chance that it might not end up working out for you 2-3 years down the line. But if you're able to enjoy it in the moment, if you're able to rock it every day for that summer or for spring or what have you, that's really what it's all about. You know, so call me crazy, but that's the way that I see it. But fantastic question. Hopefully I was able to answer it. Next question from Kelly Glenos. Hopefully I said that correctly. I'm getting ready to travel to Europe on vacation this fall, and I was wondering what bags you recommend for travel. Should I just bring 1 or 3? I'm worried about pickpocketing. Have you ever had an issue with it? All right, so when it comes to traveling, I try to keep it to a minimum. I try to go for bags that are very versatile, bags that I can use in every aspect of my trip or of my vacation. And, you know, oftentimes I find that I end up traveling with 2 bags. I have a travel bag and I have a destination bag. Now, the travel bag is usually a tote, and it's usually the Louis Vuitton Neverfull or the Longchamp Le Pliage, especially if we're traveling by air and if the flight is 10 to 12 hours, it definitely ends up working out the best, because with a bag that big, I can end up carrying our travel documents. I have magazines, I have a shawl, I have everything that we need to make the flight that much more comfortable. So I do like carrying, you know, a bigger tote with me. Now the destination bag, like I said previously, I end up going for a bag that I can use in every aspect of my vacation, and most of the time I end up going for the Chanel wallet on chain. This is my preferred travel piece. I think I even did a video on best travel bags, if I'm not mistaken. If I can find it, I will put it on the description box below. So I either go for the wallet on chain, and the reason why I choose this bag is because it's not too big, and in my opinion, I feel that it's very inconspicuous. I don't think that it attracts too much attention, and this is a bag that I can use crossbody during the day whenever we're sightseeing, and I can end up hiding the chain and using it as a little clutch whenever we go out to dinner at night, if that's what we choose to do. So it ends up working out the best. And not only that, because of the type of personality that I have, that being that I like the big bags, and with big bags, I'm always compelled to throw everything and the kitchen sink. But when I'm traveling, by going for a smaller one, I feel that it really helps me to narrow down, and it really helps me to go for the bare essentials without having to worry about carrying something maybe too personal or something that I don't necessarily need to carry with me. You know, so with this bag, I end up putting it underneath my coat. I put it underneath my jacket. Sometimes I turn it on its back so that way I don't have a logo showing or anything like that. And I have not had any experiences with pickpocketing. We have been very fortunate, but I always try to be very aware of my surroundings, and I try not to attract too much attention with what it is that I'm carrying or what it is that I am wearing either, just for that same reason, you know? And I know that it's imperative to, again, be aware of your surroundings, but I also try to have fun, because ultimately that's the main reason why you are going on vacation, because you want to have fun. Now, another reason why I like to have my destination bag inside of my travel bag, so really I have 2 travel bags, but another reason I do that is because if there is the slightest chance that I might end up doing a little bit of shopping, and if there's a chance that I might end up adding something to my collection, I don't have to worry about giving space to the goodies that I'm bringing home with the goodies that I took with me on the trip, you know? So if I have everything here, if I have everything in my bag, I'm good to go, and I can make more space in my carry-on for other goodies or for souvenirs or what have you. So I always try to stick to the minimum when it comes to traveling with my bags. So I know that was a little long-winded, but I try to give as much information as possible because I have been getting a lot of questions when it comes to traveling, especially with summer coming up. I know a lot of people are going on vacation, so just be aware of your surroundings and have fun. So I don't know if this ends up helping out, but I hope you have a blast, safe travels, and happy shopping. Next question from Loa Christensen. I'm going to purchase the Fendi Peekaboo regular size in black as a birthday present for myself next month. I'm so excited, but I find it so hard to decide on the leather type. I would really want the grainy with gold, but it only comes in smooth with gold or grainy with silver. On your wish list, you said that you were going for the black with gold hardware. How come the smooth over the Solaria? All right, so first and foremost, happy early birthday. I am super excited for you as well. And let me insert a picture of both of these types of leather right now. I think both of these bags are beautiful. I will have to say that I appreciate the fact that with the grainy leather, you're able to camouflage any type of scratches that you might end up getting on this bag a lot easier than you would with the smooth leather. I've heard some people say that with the smooth leather, it's very similar to the Chanel lambskin in the sense that if you do end up getting a scratch, all you have to do is buff it out with your fingertips. So if that is the case, let us know in the comment section down below. Or if you have experienced something different, let us know that as well. But like I said, I do like both of them. Now, when it comes to the Roman leather, I know that it's a staple to the fashion house. I know that it's a staple to that type of texture, and I do appreciate that aspect of it. But I'm also not too big of a fan on the stitches. The stitches are just maybe a little too big, and I prefer the clean lines of the smooth leather. And I also think, and I could be completely crazy, and obviously I don't have either bag, so I might be looking at this in a completely different light, but there's a part of me that thinks that with the grainy leather, it might end up aging a lot faster, or it might show that same age a lot more than the smooth leather would. Because with the smooth leather, I envision kind of like a leather jacket. Yeah, it's going to age, and yeah, you're gonna have that type of, you're gonna have those type of marks, but I think that the graininess might end up making it look a little bit older faster than the other one. Like I said, I could be completely wrong. I have no idea. If you do have either of these two bags, let us know how they are aging in the comment section down below as well. But both of them are absolutely beautiful. I just prefer the clean lines of the smooth leather over the grainy leather. But the fact that it does end up camouflaging those scratches, oh yeah, that's a major, major pro for that bag. But once again, happy early birthday. I am super excited for you, and hopefully this was able to help. Next question from Frederick Thomas. What are your thoughts on the new NeoNoe in Damier Azur with the pink interior? It's making my heart sing, but I'm scared about color transfer since it's a little larger and can be worn crossbody. Thoughts? I don't own any Damier Azur pieces yet. What's a good starter piece for this color? All right, so before we get any further, let me insert a picture of the Louis Vuitton NeoNoe in Damier Azur with the pink interior. talk about beautiful. This bag was recently launched with a Damier print, and I think it is absolutely beautiful. Actually, they have 3 different colors that you can choose from. You can either go for the pink that you guys just saw. They also have blue and yellow, and I think all 3 of those choices end up working fabulously with Damier. And to me, this bag and this combination ends up just kind of screaming spring. Not that you can't use Damier in other seasons, but there's just something about Damier and spring that just goes together beautifully, right? Anyways, now with what you said, that because it is a little bit larger and because you can wear it crossbody, unfortunately, it is a little bit more prone to getting that color transfer, especially when you go to use it crossbody. And if you end up having a lot of dark colored clothing within your wardrobe, or if you wear a lot of denim, there's always that chance, because when you use it that way, with the same movement that you're creating, there is a chance that your jeans or your, or your clothing or your shirt or whatever it is might end up rubbing on the back side of the bag. So that is always something that you have to take into consideration when it does come to Damier. And I'm not trying to say that it is, it's too delicate to the point where, it's kind of fussy. It is to a certain extent. It's also one of those things that, well, you know what? It is fussy because, like, for myself, I feel like I kind of have to navigate around it when it comes to my wardrobe, because I do have a lot of dark colored clothing. I do wear a lot of denim, so I do have to be a little bit more mindful as to what it is that I'm wearing whenever it comes to Damier. Now with my Neverfull, I had it for years until I ended up experiencing color transfer, and now at that point, because I've had it for 100 years and because I've used it so much, it doesn't really bother me. But when it comes to a brand new bag, especially a brand new collection, I don't know, it's kind of like, I don't want to put it in that bubble that I've talked about before, but I also don't want to see that color transfer happen right away, And unfortunately, I feel like there isn't really a good starter piece when it comes to Damier. And the reason that I say that is because normally I would always recommend going for a small leather good. That way you can get a feel for it to see if it ends up working out for your lifestyle. But that doesn't end up working out in this case, because you want to see how it's going to work out with your wardrobe, how it's going to work out with the elements outside, not necessarily within your bag. Because if you do have, for example, if you have a Damier small leather good, and if you have Damier Ben and you're using it that way, there is that chance that you will experience color transfer with that small leather good, kind of like what I did years ago. But with a handbag, it's difficult to say, because there are smaller bags, and that's normally what I would recommend going for. Try out a smaller bag to see if it really works out, so it's not necessarily that big of a bag, but you have limited options in Damier when it comes to handbags. You can either choose from the favorite, which is call for availability, and then you can choose from the Pochette Accessoire, which is call for availability as well. So there aren't too many options out there, and everything else is maybe a little bit bigger to the point where it does have that crossbody, and it might be a little bit harder to see if it will work out for you without necessarily experiencing that color transfer. So unfortunately, I don't have the best recommendation. I don't have the best answer for it. But the fact that this NeoNoe with the Damier is it beautiful? Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. All 3 color combinations I think are insanely, insanely gorgeous. But it's just one of those things that you do have to be mindful that there is a possibility. And if it still speaks to you, if it makes your heart sing, kind of like what you said, then maybe go for light colored clothing and use it that way, because at the end of the day, it's all about enjoying the handbag, right? So fantastic question. Hopefully I was able to answer it. Next question from Alicia Frizzell. Hopefully I said that correctly. Do you feel that the vintage Fendi Baguette will continue to go up in price, become harder and harder to find this year since the release of the latest Fendi Baguette? Absolutely. I absolutely think that they will. And it's crazy because I've been wanting to add a Fendi Baguette to my collection for a while now. And I have a specific color, I have a specific texture that I'm looking for. It's a red beaded bag. And I have seen some online, but they're missing a ton of beads, So I'm looking for, I'm trying to find that one, that perfect one, So 4 years ago, when I first got into wanting to add this bag to my collection, I think I saw some of the beaded baguettes for like 140, maybe 150, if that. Of course, it depends on the condition, right? But for the most part, if you found one that was in pretty good condition, they were still around that price point. Now when you see them on the pre-loved market, they're like $375, $475, and I've seen them increase drastically since the release of the Fendi Baguette. For sure, I think it's going to continue to go up in price, even more so, because even like with the Mama Baguette, with this guy, you know, years ago it was like $250, maybe $300 at most, and now they're like double, triple the price on certain websites. But I think it's one of those bags that it is a classic. I consider it a classic, and it's also on that same type of classic roller coaster, or not classic roller coaster, it's on that roller coaster, that trend roller coaster that I've talked about before. So it's really trendy, and then it kind of slumps down and it gets a little dormant, and then it comes right back up as the years start to go by. But I absolutely love the Baguette. I like the old ones, I like the new ones, I love them all. I think that they're so incredibly beautiful. But yes, I definitely think that they're going to continue to go up in price and be a lot harder to find, especially the ones that were on Sex and the City. Because I also had an idea to get this guy with the one that Carrie is carrying in Sex and the City. It's kind of like a pink, is it like a baby pink sequence? I think so. If I can find a picture, I will insert it somewhere here. But that bag, that is, I love that bag. And I know that some of the Sex and the City bags that were featured, those things are going for like crazy prices. But yeah, definitely the popularity is going to add to the price being hiked up on the pre-loved market. But fantastic question. Hopefully I was able to answer it. Next question from Krizia Hogg. Hopefully I said that correctly. I love compact wallets because I'm constantly switching out of big bags and smaller ones. I'm torn between the Louis Vuitton Zoe wallet and the Gucci card case. What are your thoughts? Okay, so let me insert a picture of the Louis Vuitton Zoe wallet. And as far as the Gucci card case, that's the one that I currently own, and it is in the fuchsia. So let me give you guys a really quick tour of it. And then this is the billfold. And then you have the zippered compartment right up here. I don't think you can go wrong with either wallet. Both of them are very compact. Both of them end up holding quite a bit. And I think that between the two, the Zoe wallet might be a little bit smaller than this one. It might even be a little bit more narrow, a little bit more slender. So if you are really trying to maximize your space within your smaller handbags, going for the Zoe wallet might be the better option. But I also haven't had any issues with carrying this and my smaller handbags, whether it's the Palm Springs Mini, the Pauline, or even my Chanel Minis. I haven't had any problems with that. And I will have to say that between the two, when it comes to the zippered compartment, I feel that the Gucci one is just a little bit more generous. I feel like I can fit a few more items inside, whereas the Zoe one seems to be a little bit more flush up against the rest of the wallet. Now, I believe that the Zoe wallet has 5 credit card slots, if I'm not mistaken. It is a trifold. This is a bifold, and this one has 4 credit card slots, but it also has 2 slip pockets, so that can also be credit card slots as well. So really 6 different credit card slots, and you also have that billfold. Now with the Zoe wallet, I feel like there's a few more variations to choose from. You have a few different colors, you have different prints, you have different leather, whereas the Gucci card case, yes, there are also the canvas versions, but I feel like with this one you have limited color options, and the other one just has a lot more to offer if that's what you're looking to add to your collection. So it really comes down to personal preference and what it is that you're looking for when it comes to a compact wallet. If you really want to maximize your space, even though they are both compact, I feel that the Zoe wallet is just a little bit smaller, so that way you can really end up maximizing that same space that I was talking about. Or if you want something that has a larger compartment, so that way you can end up putting either your key fob in here or whatever the case may be, you have a few more options to fit a few more items in here. So I think both of them are beautiful, and like I said, they both transfer fabulously from a larger handbag into a smaller handbag. So fantastic question. Hopefully I was able to help. And the last question from Sherry Simon. I wondered what you think of the Celine C bag. I'm going to Spain in a few weeks and I'm trying to decide what bags to get. I also like the Fendi Peekaboo and the Lady Dior. Which would you choose? All right, so before we get any further, let me insert a picture of the Celine C bag right now. The Celine C bag comes in a variety of different sizes and you have different hardwares to choose from. And as far as the price point goes, I believe it ranges from $2,800 up to $3,300 or $3,600. I could be mistaken, so please don't quote me on it. And if you want to go for maybe a little bit more of an intricate design, those are going to be a little bit more expensive. But this bag looks extremely, extremely similar to the Louis Vuitton Pochette Métis. And I mean, down to the compartments. It has 3 compartments, and this does have the chain, whereas the Pochette Métis has the regular leather strap if you end up going for the Empreinte one. But I am not too big of a fan on it. I'm not too big of a fan, and that really could be because I'm not really feeling the creative director at the moment. So it's a little bit unfair for me to say, but I like old school Celine. I do appreciate the fact that this bag is very versatile and you do have those 3 compartments. And I don't know about the C that it has. I don't know if I like it or if I don't. Like I said, I could be blinded because I'm not a fan of who's currently in charge of designs. So shame on me, all right? Shame on me, I know. But that's honestly how I feel. So I'm not really feeling this bag. Now between the Fendi Peekaboo and the Lady Dior, that's a tough one. That's a tough one because I absolutely love both of these bags. Now with the Lady Dior, depending upon which one you go for, it's a little bit more restricting to get your items, but that's the way that it was designed, you know, so that you have a little bit more privacy, and if your bag falls over, you don't have to worry that everyone's going to see what's inside of your bag. You don't have to worry about your contents kind of spilling out. So I do appreciate that. But with the Fendi Peekaboo, I like the ease of being able to retrieve my items. I like being able to see everything at a glance. So it's kind of hard to say. I can't really, what a cop-out. I can't really decide because I think both of those bags are absolutely beautiful. And one of them is just easier to see your items. The other one has a lot more structure to it. So I think it comes down to what it is that you're looking for your next handbag. But those two I think are beautiful, but the Celine C bag, but personally I'm just not feeling it. But I hope that you have a blast when you go to Spain, and happy shopping, safe travels, and hopefully this was able to help. All right, you guys, so that does it for Minks Monday Q&A. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope I was able to help. You guys had some awesome questions this week. For this week's lineup, I'm gonna go old school, and I will see you guys either Friday or Saturday. But again, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure and give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already and you would like to, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the red button down below and hitting that bell so you're notified when I upload videos, which is anywhere from 2 to 3 times a week. And I'll see you guys later. And as always, make it a fabulous day or not, the choice is yours. Have a great day.